Could you see my slides? All right.
Yeah, it looks good.
Okay. I guess we'll get started. Good evening, everyone. This is Michael Lee. I'm a first year medical student at the Rutgers Robert Wood Johnson Medical School. It is my pleasure to host this information session. Thank you all so much for all your time and interest in the fifth Rutgers Summer Immersion Program led by the Department of Orthopedic Surgery and Orthopedic Surgery Interest Group at Rutgers, OSIG. We will be sharing these slides and uploading a recording of this info session to our YouTube later. So if you want to go back and look at any information shared with you tonight, or if you want to let your colleagues know if they couldn't make it tonight, then you could see it on our recording and through the slides. So today's agenda, we will first begin with introductions of our colleagues and mentors involved in the programming. Then we'll go over the actual program. We'll review some feedbacks that we got from previous years. We'll also emphasize the application cycle and have Q&A session with former interns who have participated in this program. So first, we have our faculty advisors, Dr. Cott, who is also our faculty advisor of OSIG, Dr. McPartland, and Dr. Gott. The resident leads who will really be super helpful for us facilitating the clinical experiences of the program. We have our PGY5, Dr. Yang, and PGY3, Dr. Romeo. The founder of this program is Shalika Patel. She's also in this call tonight. She's an M4. She really started this program from the ground up, and we're very thankful for her work and help she's been providing us throughout this year. Um, our senior student advisors are Megan, Huvin, our M2s, and also Jalika. This year, this program will be led by myself and Tariq, who's also on the call, and we'll be sharing with you some information about this program later. So the purpose of this program is to really provide an opportunity for rising M2 students who are interested in orthopedics with invaluable orthopedic immersion experience, where you will be able to witness the daily life of an orthopedic resident or surgeon, enhance and review orthopedic knowledge, and develop meaningful relationships with attending mentors and residents. There are some expectations that we look for students who are going to be participating in this program. We have strict attire, white coats required for all non-operative days, scrubs that for clinic and cadaver lab. We would also expect business casual. Um, and if you're going to the OR, the hospital scrubs that are provided by by us will be required. And throughout the program, student engagements include rounding on patients with residents, shadowing in clinic, private offices, and the OR, and attending some in-person and Zoom lectures. Some academic components that are included in this program included includes fracture pediatric conferences, grand rounds, journal club with attendings, evening lectures run by residents, um, provide some additional resources for matching into orthopedic surgery, cadaver workshops to learn anatomy, some social events with the attendings and residents and fellow colleagues, casting and splinting workshops, and other bioskills workshops such as working with the sawbone, or we'll be inviting medical device companies to demonstrate how to use their drills and other orthopedic equipments that are used in the OR and sutures as well. So throughout the week, in each student will be provided a schedule like this. This is a sample, so everyone will have a different schedule. So starting on that Sunday, we will go through an orientation to go over what the expectations are. And each day you will be provided with different experiences, starting from attending fracture conferences, um, shadowing an orthopedic surgeon, and other social events. And this will vary for each student so that everyone has a unique experience and each student could have an attending or a resident to shadow. And the evening and afternoon sessions will be all together with the group. So during the event, you'll be able to do some hands-on training, like as if you're a resident. So these are some videos. As you can see, you'll have a lot of experiences, hands-on experiences, and learn these tools in the guidance under real attendings as well as medical device sales representatives.
Hey guys, it's Tariq, M1 working with Michael this year to help make this happen. I'm going to talk about a couple things. This is one of the big ones. You put your calendar up, put it in your calendar, February 22nd, 2026. The applications are due. I think it's a Sunday night. We want a statement of interest, a CV, and a letter of good standing from registrar. For my people at Robert Wood, you just email my registrar. They should get back with you in like a couple of days. And then we're looking to get all applicants informed by March 2nd, which is Monday morning. And then everything needs to be sent to this email. I know it's a pretty long email, so just read it twice before you send it. And we'll try our best to send out like confirmations that we received your applications. And if you're like worried that we didn't receive it, just send a follow-up, like maybe a day after. Next slide. I'm going to just talk about like a couple of the feedbacks that we've gotten over the past couple of years from previous intern students. These are just a couple of pictures from like various sessions. So top left, you see a suture session, some saw bones. Um, Bottom right, you can see Dr. McPartland walking students through a different suture session. Straight in the middle, that's Evelyn's Dr. Cott, Puvin, Jacob, and one of the residents at a night out. Joe, Nicolina, and a couple of other M2s now on the bottom left corner. Next slide. That's top left is in front of the medical arts building, all the students in their white coats. Middle is looks like a night out at Evelyn's with the residents. Top right, you could see various residents. And then bottom left, you see Dr. Romeo, Dr. Wang, walking student through the Sawbone. Bottom middle, that's at Destination Dogs. Bottom right, Dr. Philtes and a couple of the M2 students from last year walking through some sutures, it looks like. Next slide. Various different pictures from different immersive experiences. Next slide. So a lot of the interns, so at the end of your experience, you'll fill out a feedback form speaking about your experience, and a couple of the students highlighted some various immersive experiences that they found helpful, some including like different surgical techniques and like exam maneuvers. There was satisfaction across the board in whatever immersive experience you were in, whether it was the OR, clinical opportunities, using sawbones in various bioskill workshops. And a lot of the interns found the journal club really helpful in their ability to appraise journal articles, all while simultaneously connecting with the faculty that was leading these sessions. Next slide. Some feedback also on various parts of the immersive experience. So you have OR, clinical, and conferences. One person really liked the diversity in the OR cases, being able to see scoliosis cases in Pete's particular. Another one reflected on their time in morning Monday fracture conferences and being able to sit in on residents presenting their cases, but also like having questions at the end of those cases. But now that they're following our orthopedic surgeon for the rest of the day, they like whenever those questions came back up, they were able to ask Dr. Cott about them later on in the day. Next slide. Different social events, just being able to step out of the hospital away from like the pager and seeing patients and being able to connect with residents was really like a highlight of people's experience during the immersive program. Um, Another student reflected on the timing of the immersion program. So it is a really intense week, but since it's only a week, they found that it wasn't really a downside and it was like really a glimpse into what it's like to be an orthopedic resident for that week and like living up to its name, as they mentioned, being an immersion program. Another student, and for students that are worried about like commuting and stuff like that, this student felt that it was like really helpful to just be in the same area as its two hospitals or three hospitals that they were designated with in the clinics and being able to be scheduled within those 5 days at those specific spots. Next slide. And then again, I mentioned at the end of the program, you'll reflect on your time here. And so for the past couple of years, almost everyone's rated it between a 9 and a 10, with the average response being a 9.7, about how meaningful this was to them and being able to experience what it's like to be an orthopedic resident or what a life in orthopedic surgery is really like. Next slide. So for the next couple of minutes, we'll be able to talk to two former interns and lead spotlights, Jacob and Steven. They're on the call. I think I've seen, yeah, they're both here. They could turn on their cameras and they'll be able to speak on their experiences and answer any questions that you guys may have for them about how they felt during the immersion program.
Appreciate you guys. I can jump in first and just kind of introduce myself and talk a little bit about my experience first before there's any questions. But thank you guys for giving a great overview of the program. I think you got a good idea of kind of what it's like and how it works. But yeah, I'm Jake. I'm a second year med student here at RWJ interested in ortho. I did the program last summer, obviously between my first and second year. And I did the first week after we finished our first year of like preclinical. So it's kind of like a seamless transition. Like it was good timing because you're already kind of in school mode anyway. And it is a busy week, but it is pretty fun because I feel like even over like your first year, like you can shadow here and there, but you don't really get a sense of what it's like to like be an orthopedic surgeon because you only see it for like a few hours at a time. You don't really get to see the continuity of things. So I think it was a great opportunity just to like get really immersed and like from like these different the variety of experiences like we saw like in the clinic in the OR. I think that was the first time I probably scrubbed in to an orthopedic surgery case, and then seeing like the different like conferences the residents have throughout the week, the different educational things. You get to see what it's like just to be a resident. And we had like one of the things that they had last summer, that I'm sure they'll do again this year, was like following the intern on the pager, like who's on call. I thought that was pretty cool because you get to see what it's like to be a first year and what happens when someone actually does call you down to the ED and how you deal with it, and just how you check up on your patients and run the list in the morning and just kind of how the flow works. So I thought it was a great experience overall and definitely very like meaningful for helping me decide like if it's something I want to pursue further or if it's something I actually like, or I guess first so you could help you rule it out. But in general, I think it was great exposure just to like the field, to the residents and also the faculty at Robert Wood. But yeah, happy to answer any questions specifically that you guys might have.
Hey everyone, I'm Steve. I'm also an M2. I did the program last year as well. JD hit on a lot of points right there. One thing I'd like to stress about the program is like it's very good for making relationships throughout the week. It's an intense week, so you're going to be busy pretty much all day, every day. But you get to meet a variety of orthopedic surgeons in a bunch of different subspecialties and interact with the residents all week. So it's a great way to make relationships as well.
Yeah, and also like we keep saying, I think people keep saying like it's intense. It's like it's a big busy, but it's not like hard or intense. Like nothing's expected of you at all. You just show up and learn and listen and ask questions, and so it's not like it's like scary or anything like that. Like it's honestly a pretty fun time. And there's like stuff like they show the pictures. Like we got dinner with Dr. Cott and like the other students in our cohort and just hung out. So it's like pretty relaxed. Like, it is a lot of like you're like busy during the week, but it's not like it's like um you're like expected to perform or anything like that.
Yeah, so feel free, guys, to drop in the chat or unmute yourself and ask any questions that you guys may have for Jacob and Steven. I mean, I'll get us started until people can start thinking of questions. How would you say the immersion program helped like revisit like musculoskeletal anatomy and like since being out of it for like about a year from starting M1 and then revisiting it during the summer? How would you feel that helped you?
Yeah, I think for me at least, like you don't really learn. I mean, like I think like legitimately the first month of med school, we like learned some like MSK anatomy, and that's pretty much it for the entire 4 years. So it's kind of like even like in general something I think about when you're pursuing like a residency in orthopedics. Like you have to really kind of learn it on your own. So this week was great just to like kind of revisit those kind of things and just go into the fracture conference. I feel like I did that a couple of times during first year, but you kind of forget. So just seeing like going back to that and like actually thinking about orthopedic injuries and things like that, I thought it was a great way to reinforce that. And yeah, and again, because you don't really see it, I guess, like in your day to day, even like when you go through your clinical rotations and stuff, unless you do ortho electives or choose to really pursue like seek it out. But I'll let Steve add anything.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, throughout our M1 year, since we had anatomy first, a lot of the anatomy knowledge kind of got pushed to the back. But throughout the week through the OR and clinic shadowing, a lot of that was brought back, and you were able to see how the things we learned actually applied in the clinic and OR.
Perfect. And then we got two questions in the chat. One from Fatih, which says, "What would you say your favorite activity in the immersion program was?"
For me, I'd say my favorite activity was the Striker workshop, where we got to use a bunch of the tools from Striker that would be used in the OR. And it was very fun because we got to practice with the tools, and it was also made so that it was like a game. So Dr. Cott was there. I think two residents were there. You could correct me if I'm wrong, JD. But yeah, it was made like a game. So we had to use the K wire. So we had to get that through a piece of like synthetic bone and try to get that into a bullseye. We had to guess how many pieces of bone there were by drilling through it and a bunch of things like that. We got to use a sawbone. So that was my favorite part.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed that too. I think it was pretty fun just to, like see what kind of tools like surgeons actually use, and it's literally like power tools basically, and you get a chance to play around with those and get a feel for it. So that was a lot of fun. And I think like also shadowing just like in the OR one day, I did a day at St. Peter's, like right down the street from Robert Wood, but that's where a lot of the joint replacement cases are. So I got to scrub into a couple like knee replacements and hip replacements, and that was really fun just because that was my first time scrubbing in for an orthopedic case. And I got to like be involved in like cold retractors and cut sutures and stuff like that. And residents were really nice and showing me like, all right, this is like why we're doing it from this approach, and this is like kind of like this is like the muscles that we're cutting through, and this is like the nervous like the vasculature we're trying to avoid, things like that. So that was a lot of fun. I got to wear this like crazy like spacesuit that they wear for like the joint replacement cases. Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Cool. And then another question, Adam asked, "What surprised you the most when following the intern during your intern follow?"
So I'll leave that one up to JD because I actually didn't follow the intern on any of the days.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what I surprised me the most. I guess just like I mean at this point. Like the first year was almost done. Their first year was like in June, so they're like pretty much like a month away from being complete. Like the first year, but that was pretty interesting how they kind of just like are on their own, have to like figure it out. I mean, obviously they can like call their senior residents for help and stuff like that and attendings, but they get a call from the ED or from some other service. And they have to go check it out and see what's going on, and just kind of figure it out and decide what to do next. And obviously they check in. That's like the whole point of everything. But you really just kind of like get thrown in there and have to learn on the spot, which I thought was scary but cool at the same time. So.
Very nice. One student asked, "Is the program open to students outside of Rutgers?" And Angelica answered, "Yes, it's open to outside students. So everyone in this call and any outside students, we're looking forward to reading all your applications for this program." Taha asks, "How was it like being in the OR for the first time, getting to see different cases?"
I would say at least for me, like it's definitely a little bit scary at first just because it's like a foreign experience, like something you've never done before. But I like the program because you get an opportunity to like get comfortable and like understand like kind of the protocols and what you can and can't do and kind of how to move around without breaking sterility, things like that. So it's definitely like something it takes getting used to, and I'm not gonna act like I am used to it whatsoever. I did it like four times probably in my life. But you definitely get more comfortable with it as time goes on, especially like over the course of the week. So I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I second that. I also didn't do any OR shadowing prior to this. So this was a great experience to learn how to scrub in and become more comfortable in the OR. And the cool thing is like depending on the attending you're matched with, which you'll get to shadow in the OR several days, so you'll see multiple attendings in the OR. Some attendings allow you to be like pretty interactive in the OR and like actually help out. So that's very cool.
Very nice. Austin asked a question I can answer, and then maybe Jill can chip in. There's no tuition that you need to pay if you're accepted to the program. And then how many students are accepted each year to the program?
So we have 10 students who will be accepted this year. Um, 5 students will be in the immersion program for 5 days for the first week, and the second cohort will also be the remaining 5 students. So each student will have 5 days in the program.
I think something else I wanted to add about it is just like the fact that it is like only 1 week, or if it's like probably like the first week after we finish school or the second week. So you can also do other things for the summer. It's not like it's just like the only thing you can do this summer. So it's a great way to like start your summer, get involved, and then also you have like flexibility and time to do other things as well, whether that be some other research program or just like whatever you want to do. So I like the flexibility of it.
Very nice. And then Brendan asks, were you able to make relationships with doctors that still last for continued shadowing, research, etc.?
Yeah, I mean, throughout the week, you get to meet a lot of attendings. And the point of the program is not necessarily for research, but you get to make relationships with a lot of people, and research could come out of those relationships. So, for example, JD and I actually ended up starting up 3 projects as a result of this program. Um, so definitely can make relationships, get research started. Um, and shadowing is always an opportunity. Anytime you've met attending, just stay in contact with them. And if you want to shadow them, just send them an email. They're more than open to it.
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of one of those things where it's like you get in what you put, or you get out what you put in. So you can go and just show up and just kind of like hang out, which is totally fine too, and learn. But if you're really intentional about like, or if you like find like a good relationship with one of the doctors or residents, like it's obviously great to just keep in touch and see where things go. I think it just applies to like kind of everything across medical school as well, whether that be for this program or just in general. Like just the more like however like involved you want to be, like you can be involved as you want, or you can just kind of um, chill out and see where things go too. So I think there's plenty of opportunity to do that, like Steve said.
We just got a question from Taha. Is there preference for students from RWJ? So we would go over the application holistically. In the past year, we had 8 students from RWJ and 2 students from external, and um, we plan to continue having external students be more active within our summer immersion program and have that balance.
Yes, absolutely. Any other questions from the chat? And then feel free, like, after we move forward, there'll be time to ask more questions. But I'm going to just introduce Jilika Patel, the founder of this program. She wants to give a couple words. Jilika is at M4 currently. And yeah, she created this program from the ground up, as Michael stated before.
Hey guys, it's nice to see you. My name is Jalika. One of the M4s at Robert Wood. When we really started this program, we wanted to broaden students' exposure to orthopedics. We actually ended up doing a clinical study that really underscored the importance of early orthopedic immersion, to kind of shape students' interest in the field, and that really highlighted the need for more immersive preclinical exposure. So I think this is a really excellent opportunity to explore kind of multiple subspecialties. Every day you will be kind of on a different service and with a different attending. So you get, more exposure to the field in ways that are kind of more dedicated and structured. And you might not have been able to do that in that type of structured way in your M1 year. So I think, come in really open-minded, see if this is something you like to do, see if you like the procedures, the MSK pathology. I think, as Jacob was saying, and Stephen as well, you really have an opportunity to form strong bonds with each other, as well as with, residents and attendings, which is a really awesome advantage of the program. And I think, the experience it will just be very positive and very rewarding for you, even though it definitely is very demanding during the week. So I think our students have pretty consistently done exceptionally well in the program and built those relationships. So it's been really nice to see the program grow over the 5 years. And we've had, over 30 students go through the program. So the department's really familiar with you guys coming in and with the leads every year, and is kind of here to support you. So it's a really, really nice environment. And I definitely recommend doing the program. So feel free, to ask any questions or reach out. I'm really excited for the new leads this year, Tariq and Michael, as well as all of OSIG. I'm sure you guys are going to do a great job, and I'm here to mentor and guide any way through. So
Thank you so much, Shilika, for the kind words and wrapping it up. But if you all have any other questions, please feel free to reach out. On the chat, I just shared a Google form. It's a feedback form for this information session. So if you have time to quickly fill it out, it will really help us to improve this experience. And before we end, um,
Yeah, for our
for
out-of-state
our external
applicants,
um,
external
students,
applicants.
we have prepared some slides that you will be able to see later. Um, it's just an introduction to New Brunswick, places to stay, some good restaurants and cafe in New Brunswick. Um, Evelyn's will probably have a social event there, good cafes, good
Yeah,
cuisines everywhere, places to have fun. It's only a 40-minute train ride to New York City, and there's a lot of things to do in New Brunswick as well. Um, I just had one last question that came in. Is this program open to students who are attending non-US medical schools? If not, are there any similar opportunities for international medical students to get involved? Angelica, is there any,
do you
do
want me
you
to
have
take
an answer?
this? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
okay.
thank you.
So are you an currently MS2 going to MS3, or are you an MS1 going to MS2? I think that would be,
I'm currently in MS2.
okay, so this program is for rising M2 students. It's geared towards students who only completed their M1 year. So I think there's a lot of different ways to also get involved in the department, and so we can send you additional materials for that, including, our YouTube page and all of our lectures. But the program is for rising M2 students. We do have a really wonderful sub-internship offered to M4 students. So after you finish your clerkship years, that's something that can be open as well. Michael, when you talked to Michelle Allen, did she give you any other additional information about international medical student interest?
I just reached out, so if you
Okay.
could provide your email, I could share that information with you too, about international medical students opportunity in Rutgers.
Yeah, we can do some more digging to see if there's even other kind of operative medical experiences within Robert Wood if you're interested.
Mhm. And we have another question from Lorenzo. Is there any specific prompt to be answered in the personal statement? Not really. It's just your passion in orthopedics and why you want to join this program and what you look forward to getting out of this program.
I think with the personal statement, we're not expecting anyone to have, a lot of orthopedics exposure up till now. It's, toward the end of your M1 year that you'll be applying. So, I mean, you're applying around now, but, there's only so much exposure you could have had up until this point. So I think, talk about your interests, and if you have had experiences with your own interest groups in orthopedics at your school, I would, talk about that. If you've had the opportunity to shadow in the OR, that shows great interest and engagement. So those are kind of the things that we're looking for is interest in the field and interest in exploring it as well. Yeah, no problem.
Yep. So that wraps up our night for the information session. Thank you so much all for your time and interest in the program. We'll stick around for a couple more minutes if you have any other questions, but feel free to leave. Thank you so much. Remember to fill in the Google form if you can. Thank you.
I have a question for for other for like there's another program that OSIG is gonna have this summer, and like they have like prerequisites to be able to apply for that program. Like you had to have gone to workshops and stuff with OSIG. For this program, do you have to have gone to workshops at
No,
all?
no.
Okay.
So I think you're talking about the CERT program, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be more during the semester. So
Oh, okay.
once you fulfill those requirements for um, like all the clinics and all the workshops that you attend, then you'll be able to do more responsibilities in your clinic shadowing.
Okay.
And that's going to be during your spring semester and fall semester. This program is independent of that, so no
Okay.
prerequisites required.
All right. Thank you.
I had a question for Jilka.
Yeah, go for
Turn
it.
my camera on. This is so cool. Like, how did you start this up? Were
Yeah.
you a first year when you started it, or second, or?
Yeah, I was a first year medical student actually. So I was
Okay.
new to the department too. I mean, it was definitely a really rewarding experience. So I worked really closely with Dr. Kott. I worked with OSIG, our interest group at Robert Wood, and then I worked with Dr. McPartland, Dr. Gatt, two other attendings, and our program chair and program director here at Robert Wood, and then also with Dr. Jomar Ari, who's now a fellow at UCLA. But he started his PG1 1 year, I think, when I started my M1 year. So it was really cool to, work with him throughout the program and see it grow. But we started smaller. So I think in building any program, you want to aim for, something that can be sustainable over time, that has good communication between all of the leads in the department. So I really tried to kind of establish that as I was building the program. And I worked closely with the residents who were beyond helpful, could not be done without them. And we developed student schedules for every day of the week that kind of gave them exposure to different subspecialties. And then in the evening, we worked with outside organizations to have like Sawbones come in, BioSkills come in, Suture Labs come in. So I worked throughout the second semester of my first year to set all of those things up. And then we also had additional attendings come both from outside and within Robert Wood to do student lectures. So it was definitely, a rewarding experience to figure out how to get it running from the ground up. But that's something I really enjoy personally, is trying to figure out how to start something new and maintain it in a sustainable way. So we actually ended up writing about this process and kind of a more process paper that we submitted and is now in JOS, that kind of outlines every single step of how we organized the summer immersion program, and it provides a kind of an outline or template for other institutions if they want to do something similar in their institution as well. So it's been cool to get some kind of feedback from other institutions, and we were able to present it at MSOS and have a good conversation about medical education for orthopedics in the M1 and M2 level. Because typically speaking, our medical school curriculums don't have too much MSK or too much orthopedics exposure. So you really have to take initiative to get that. So, this study really showed the importance of having these types of early immersion programs, and really just reinforced it. So I think all of the leads after me have just, done such an exceptional job kind of growing the program as well. So I think, a strong communication between everyone, and then a really, strong group of people. And I've really enjoyed kind of working with everyone. So that's kind of how it happened. But it's been really exciting. Probably one of the, the best experiences in medical school has been, building this program and seeing kind of the benefits for students and patients from it. So.
And that's really cool. And just watching it grow over the last 3 years,
Oh, it's so fun. Yeah,
that's
I
so
love
cool.
it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love it. And I think the mentorship part too, like every year I grow so much from it too, just, learning to work with different people and different environments. And there's new challenges every single year for sure.
Mhm.
So it's really nice to, you learn adaptability, and it's really fun. So I enjoy it.
That's amazing. I will be taking a lot of inspiration from that. I'll look up that
Are
article.
you a
But
Robert student?
I'm not. No, I go to
Okay.
Rowan in
Okay, cool.
South Jersey.
You're in New Jersey.
Yes,
Awesome.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. But I
Cool.
grew up in the area, so
Cool. Amazing.
uh-huh.
Well, feel free to reach out anytime, and
I
definitely
will.
we hope to get your applications.
Absolutely, yeah. Is your email also
Oh,
on the
I can give it in the
Okay.
chat. And sorry I didn't put it earlier, but I can send it out to the group after as well. There you go.
Thank you.
And this is my number if you want to text too. Pretty fast.
That'd be great. I'm Isha, by the way.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for
Thank
coming.
you.